What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all, so you get notified of all latest content as and when it drops on this channel. So without further ado, let's get into this one. So there's obviously a lot of talk about Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and his comments. A lot of people chiming in on this because he made this comment saying that I do not need to fight Anthony Joshua if I win against Alexander Usyk. Reason being that Alexander Usyk has already beaten Anthony Joshua twice, so why do I need to fight him? If I beat the man who beat him, then I don't need to fight him. There's no need for this fight. And to a certain extent, I think his fans are going to eat that up. They're going to say, yep, that's correct, Gypsy King, whatever you say. If that's what you say, we respect it, we believe it, and we go along with it. But any boxing fan who's been watching the game for any number of years will know that that is not how boxing works. You know, boxing is an individual sport, so if I'm a fighter, I beat someone, and then my opponent beats someone else. I can't vicariously live through that victory. And just because Alexander Usyk beat Anthony Joshua twice, and very convincingly in my view, that is not the same thing as Tyson Fury beating Anthony Joshua. You know, if you think you can beat someone, you've got to prove it. You've got to do it. Because those victories go down on Alexander Usyk's record, on his resume, and not Tyson Fury's resume, unless Tyson Fury actually does it and takes the fight. And also, there's others who have chimed in on this, notably Antonio Tava. He come out and he said that, look, there's no need for Tyson Fury to fight Anthony Joshua. He doesn't need to fight him at all. You know, he's done it all, etc., etc. And I think there's a few people that feel that way. I personally don't feel that way because I believe that boxing is a game where it doesn't always mean that because you beat somebody that beats someone else, it doesn't mean that you can do that. Because there's loads of different styles of boxing. Some styles might suit you and they might not suit me. I mean, we've seen it throughout Tyson Fury's career where he had such an easy time with Vladimir Klitschko. He toyed with Vladimir Klitschko in his great win against him. But then prior to that, he struggled with guys like John McDermott at British level. He struggled with guys like Steve Cunningham, got knocked down by him and knocked down by Pakic. And no one can doubt Tyson Fury as an elite fighter, but throughout his career, he's struggled with certain things, with certain shorter fighters who bring punches over the top. He's struggled with that. So it's not always that straightforward when it comes to boxing. So for me, I think if he it's kind of my opinion is kind of twofold on this thing, and I think if Tyson Fury sort of puts the legacy to one side and doesn't really care too much about legacy, then him beating Usyk and then just going off into retirement after that victory, I think he can be proud of that and he can walk away from the game if he doesn't really care about legacy or about being an all-time great. I think he can walk away after that victory. I think that would be enough for him as long as he's internally secure with that. Then fine, he could walk away with that. But I believe personally that if he wants to be considered an all-time great and he wants to be mentioned among the likes of a Mike Tyson, a Lennox Lewis, going back to the great Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Norton, all these great fighters of the past. If he wants to be mentioned in that same breath, I don't think he'll be able to do enough to be mentioned, but I think at the very least, if he wants to be, if he does believe he's an all-time great and he wants to prove it, what he's got to do is he's got to first, box Usyk, ideally beat Usyk, And then he has got to fight Anthony Joshua, unless Anthony Joshua drops the ball and loses to Francis Ngannou. I'd say, yeah, you've got to face Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua is on the ascendancy. He's had a few decent victories. He seems to have found his feet. And as long as he comes through Francis Ngannou, I think you've got to face Anthony Joshua. He's your fellow countryman, former unified world champion. And if you've always said you can beat Joshua, now you can prove it. So you could have Joshua. And then I would say you go down the list of contenders and you fight them. Guys like Bacoli, like Sanchez, like Zhang. I mean, or even Parker. If Parker is able to come through Zhang, you got the winner of those two. If you can come through them. And, you go through the contenders. You got Hergovich. You go through some of these guys and beat them. Don't just become undisputed. Become undisputed and defend it. Go through the gauntlet. Have a run against other top contenders. Obviously, now he's in his mid-30s, so he's not going to be able to go on for too much longer. But I'd say if you can beat Usyk, go on to a Joshua, fight the rest of the contenders in there, and fight whoever you can amongst the top competition available. And I think if he can do that, get the Usyk, get the contenders, fight Joshua, then at least we can say, right, he's done something similar to what greats of the past have done. If he can do that, go on a run through the contenders, or as many of those significant names as he can, then I think he will have more so earned the right to talk about being all-time great and all this, that, and the third. But I think if with just a victory over Usyk, it will be all it will be is just, okay, you got a great victory over an exceptional champion. But as far as putting you in a conversation as a all-time great, nah, you're not in no conversation as an all-time great because all the other all-time greats, they all ran through the gauntlet and, they fought everybody available. Tyson done that. Lewis done that. He beat every man he ever faced. Ali, Frazier, all these guys you want to name, all these top past heavyweights. The Klitschko's done it as well. If you want to go back to more recent times, the Klitschko brothers, Vitaly and Vladimir, they had a set up in Germany. Any man had to come to Germany, fight them, and every man that come to Germany and fought them got beaten, and they had a run of doing that for years. So even though I give Tyson Fury full credit, you beat Vladimir Klitschko, but you gotta still give Vladimir Klitschko credit and call him a great fighter because they had the heavyweight division on lock. Yes, American TV wasn't interested. A lot of people were calling them boring, but they had heavyweight boxing on lock in Germany, and you had to come see them in Germany, and no man could stop them until Tyson Fury had that great victory. So I think for him to be in that conversation, to be great as he says, he needs to do kind of some of at least what his predecessor does by set up shop and take on all comers like past champions, even as recently as a Klitschko. So anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. What do you think of Tyson Fury's career? Do you think he needs to fight Anthony Joshua to kind of cement his legacy? Do you agree with me that you got to run through the contenders as well as Usyk and Joshua? Or perhaps you think just a victory over Usyk is enough to cement him as an all-time great? I'd like to know your thoughts, and until next time, let me know. It's MKO Pugilism, over and out.